Hello, darlings. It's Melissa Kincaid. I am an EdTech trainer from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I'm here with some friends.
Amber Hinkle, hi. I am all the way from Florida, and I too am an EdTech trainer.
Amber and I are here because we have a really, really exciting idea to unbox an EdTech product. So you guys have seen those unboxing videos on social media where someone gets something in the mail and they show you the size and the color and the fit and all that stuff, all in an attempt to show you the product before you spend your time and money digging into it. Well, Amber and I were like, wouldn't it be great if somebody did that for EdTech tools as well? Because sometimes it can be time consuming to click all the things and find all the menus and push all the buttons to figure out how a product works. Well, we're here for you, and that's what we are doing here today. In this video, we're going to be unboxing Adobe Express Galleries, which is a brand new feature of Adobe Express that I'm super excited about. Amber, are you excited?
I am so excited to play with this.
So just for the record, before we start, Amber and I both have very, very limited knowledge of Adobe Express Galleries. We're here along with you to see how it works, to push the buttons, because from what we hear about it, we're excited. We don't really know how it works yet. So Amber, if you were to give a brief description of what you think Adobe Express Galleries is, according to what you've seen already, what would you say?
I'm not gonna lie, up until ISTE, I thought it was just a button that took me to galleries where I could just see the things that my students were turning in. But I hear word on the street is that it's gonna have opportunities to organize items in a gallery and maybe add some other features to what we're viewing in the gallery. But I have literally just clicked on it and gotten a white box that gives me options. That's as far as I've gotten. So I'm super excited to dig in.
So you've gotten one click farther than I've gotten. In my mind, galleries was just how students saw each other's work. So I'm really excited that there's some new features, and let's get into it. Let's check it out.
Yes. Yes.
All right, so we're in Adobe Express. I love this new interface. Amber and I were just talking a little bit about that. We should create another video talking about the pros and cons just of the new Adobe Express user experience, I think, Amber.
There's a lot to talk about.
There's a lot to talk about, and we have plenty of opinion, y'all. But let's start by going into galleries. So do you remember how to just get there? Like, how do we get to the new galleries feature?
It is in Teach. So across the top, when you land, starts in Create, move over to Teach. There's the galleries right there.
Let's do it.
All right. So we're going to go one click further than Melissa. And now I'm going, this is the furthest I've ever clicked. I'm going to choose a class. What's the preferred name of the gallery? Can we just name this test for today?
Works for me.
And then we're going to say it's about unboxing. We're going to see what happens here. And then this is my class that has multiple assignments. So let's see what happens. Create. Oh.
Now I want to pause for a minute because you mentioned about multiple assignments. Just for anyone watching, I asked Amber if we could share a class that had multiple assignments because I just wanted to see how this differed from just the class gallery within an assignment in Classroom. So in Adobe Express Classrooms, when you assign a project to students, you can allow students to view each other's work in the gallery. So this new galleries feature, I just wanted to see how it was different. So we're going to see a classroom that has multiple assignments in it to see, hopefully, if we can pull from different assignments. Okay, let's see.
Can I tell you how hard it was to not click on things while you were talking? I was like, don't do it. Don't do it.
I love your level of restraint. I'm going to learn from that. That's why we're friends.
Okay, so I see that I can edit this if I'm unhappy later. Which one do you want me to click on first? Do you want me to... I see there's an invite button. There's some editing buttons right here. Where do you want to start?
I was tempted to say, and to start with the invite students, so you can invite me in as a student. We're not in the same district. Word out to the Adobe people. We would love to be able to share a gallery with people outside of the same domain, hint, hint, hint. But let's just start top to bottom. Let's start with adding text. What does that do?
Asking for a friend. Add text. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I can add a
Okay, so
caption.
it looks like that top button allows me to add something new to the gallery. And I can add either a text or, yeah, let's add a generated image. I wonder if we can add like 2 girls opening a box. To find magic inside. I love it.
What it gives us with that.
Oh, I love it. All right, pick one.
Does this one work for you?
That works for me.
And then add to gallery. Let's see what happens. Oh, look at that.
I love that. So one thing that I'm seeing is that I like how it is showing the author of this, right? Like I know that you added these 2 pieces. I wish that we had someone else in your that was within your district that can add to, so that we can see that difference. I also would love to know if you can comment on them, like other collaborative boards give you that feature, but it's looking like that first top bar allows you to add something kind of like from scratch. We have a third friend in meeting today, or in our unboxing video today. She just wanted to hang back and kind of learn, but we may be able to convince her to help us see how multiple students would be in galleries. I'm going to bribe her by promising not to trash talk the Browns for the duration of this call.
And can you be trusted, Melissa? That's the big question.
my very best.
I would be more than happy.
When I click on invite students, it has my class, and then it gave me a copy link or post in Teams or Google Classroom.
So it only gave you that link, though. It didn't give you a join code? That's interesting.
So it looks like I can only invite students to a gallery that are in a current class, because it had you choose which class you wanted, right?
It had me choose which class and then a copy link.
Okay, so now we're going to switch over, just for those of you joining us, we're going to switch over to Lindy's screen, so that way she can show us from a student lens what happens when you share that join code. So Amber went through a class. I find that really interesting, because that means that you probably can't have students collaborate from different classes, which I'll talk a little bit about that later. But so now Lindy's going to show us. Okay, so you're in here as a student.
I'm in as a student, or I'm in using that link. But remember, I'm coded as a teacher, so students may look a little bit different. So when I click on add file, then this screen looks so familiar. Now this looks like I can take something from outside, just an image. So I'm going to start with that. I'm going to get the taco. Since that's sitting right there, let me open the taco, and there it goes. We'll add the taco to the gallery. Yes, we're getting ready for a new school year. Can you tell? For instructional resource teachers, yeah, it's going to be a taco theme year next year for all of our instructional resource elementary teachers. Excited. So I can go outside of Adobe and I can grab an image file and bring it in. I'm wondering, can I try that again, you guys?
Yeah.
I click open, and it says invalid file as well. So it looks like it's only an image file that I can bring in.
Or video.
Or video file.
Okay, or video. That's right. It says it right there if I read, huh? So then I can go to my stuff instead, and it'll take me into all of my saved work in Adobe. And we can pick any. Files come in easily just in add files. But I love that I can go outside of Adobe as well. That gives me opportunity to add some other things. It'd be pretty cool if other kinds of work besides images and video could come in.
Yeah. I agree. So this is a really good note, is that currently, as of the taping of this video, we can only add image or video files, and you can also add them from either your desktop or your computer, or from your stuff in Adobe Express. So if you have something that you want to add that's in like a online drive, you will have to download that on your computer in order to get it in. But it does seem like it's going to function best if you're pulling things that's already in your stuff. Now, I also want to point out that now that we have 2 people, I love that you can see what Amber's has put on gallery. You can also see what Lindy has put into the gallery. Can you open another student's? Like if you click on Amber's, can you open it?
I can, but again, I have teacher rights.
That's right.
It could be that
you can edit it because you're a teacher.
Maybe. We don't know that for sure, but I'm going to guess, and all I can edit is the caption. But I wouldn't think that students would be able to. So we would have to bring student work in.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a way that you can bring student work in, or if the students have to bring their own work in. Really envisioning this as a way, for example, that I can create a gallery that says strategies for multiplication. And maybe this student made a really good poster that was about repeat addition. And then another student made a really good video on how to do the standard algorithm, right? I would love to be able to put those in one gallery, and then I don't have to do all the work, right? Because this student did that poster, that student did that video, but then it'd be a place that they can still see those strategies. And I'm wondering if as a teacher, I can say, I loved Amber's video, I'm gonna add it to there, or if I have to tell Amber to add it to there instead. And it doesn't look like a way that the teacher can pull from classrooms, or are you seeing that?
I just logged in as my daughter, so feel free. Because I wanted to see what would happen from a teacher or from a student perspective. And when you're clicking on these as a teacher, you can add a caption. But when you click on them as a student, all I can do is enlarge it and see it bigger. I don't have that add caption button.
So Amber, do you mind sharing your screen and showing us how it looks from a student view? Okay, so this is the student view. Very similar.
My invite student is gone. I can browse my stuff. Oh, so I added this so I can add a caption to it. But when I come over here to someone else's, I can't add a caption. But when I'm as a teacher, I could click on any of these and still add a caption. I can delete mine. I can't delete other people's. There's a trash can.
So I would love, from that student perspective, to be able to have students bring their work here, and then the like button or the comment button, and that toggle on and off, obviously, as the teacher, whether you want comments and likes, but just so that you get a sense of what the kids see. I love your academic example. If you pulled a video together and a poster together, or something that showed how to solve a problem, and then the kids could let you know which ones really worked for them, which ones did they like and made sense to them. It's a great way then to show other kids, how well those are made and what works well in terms of their own learning.
So I actually really love that you pointed that out, because I'm very much kind of a collaborative board type girl. I would love for there to be a like button as well. And my math heart definitely wants to point out what you just said about the kids being able to say, this is the strategy that works best for me. I don't have to try and figure that out from my students. If there was this creative way for them to just say, repeat addition, that's what I'm going to use all the time, and give them those directions. I look at that number as a teacher, and then I know going forward, this is the most impactful strategy for my students. And that is huge, huge, because it's not about what we are the most empowered by, it's about what they're the most empowered by. I love that idea.
I would love all of those features as well. I'm definitely a toggle on and off, because sometimes I want to hear their opinions and sometimes then no thank you, view only. So would love to be able to maybe organize these tiles as well, because if it's an open response like this, that maybe we're adding files, maybe we're adding generative images, maybe we're adding text, I want to organize things.
No, I like that. That didn't even come to my mind, but I like that. From
different layouts, right? Just even the thought of different layouts. Sometimes I want columns. Maybe I even want to label those columns, and students are putting work in different columns based on what they're creating.
That would be awesome, because then you could have a column for the standard algorithm, and then maybe somebody adds a video, maybe somebody adds an infographic, but it's all that same strategy. So Amber, from the teacher point of view, are you allowed to reorder the tiles? I mean, knowing that you're signed in as a student now, but
no.
So they would like that bigger request.
The final product is optional as to how they're creating it. I would like to organize that too. Here's all the images, here's all the text, here's all the videos, whatever.
What happens when you press edit gallery? Are you only editing the settings of the gallery, or maybe it's hidden in there?
Yep.
Okay, so just the
The
settings.
title and the about.
Right, so if we scan down any other features in here so far, and again, this is how Adobe Express Galleries looks like at the time that this is recorded. It's brand new. It hasn't even rolled out for a full school year, right? They've introduced it at ISTE, so it's only a couple weeks. It's only a couple weeks old. Is this the bottom, or if we scan down, anything else that we can add to it?
No, but let's just, what does this look like in classrooms? When I go to classrooms, does the gallery,
Oh, look at
Now,
that.
the gallery's in my
Look at
classroom
that.
now. That's why they
Is
don't
this
need
a
a
student
join
view?
code. Yes, so this is me. This is the classroom that I added the gallery to. It's called test, but look, you can add a gallery here too. That's why they don't need a join code,
Oh,
because it's
that's what I was
automatically in
wondering
their
as well.
class.
That was going to be my next question. Why would they not give a join code? Because a link is cumbersome for our youngest kids to get through.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that is really, really interesting. I have a pro and a con for that. I like that when the kids log in, that gallery's there. It's part of their assignments. They know I've been working on this strategies poster for edition. I don't know why I'm hung up on these edition strategies, y'all, but I'm a math. And now I see I have a gallery to where once I have my best work, I can add it there. The only thing I don't like about that is that I could have 3 bells of second grade math students, right? And maybe I want to take Amber's from second bell and Lindy's from third bell. And it doesn't seem like there's a way to do that without enrolling all of the kids in one master class, like Adobe Express Classroom. I wouldn't choose to do that because I don't necessarily always give the same assignments to each bell. So that's the only thing that I don't like. I wish that I could pull from any student that is enrolled in a classroom that I am the teacher of, but then still have that link. Like I almost want a public link, right? Like this is our addition strategies gallery, and you'd be able to see it if you were in any classroom, or also a parent or an administrator or another second grade classroom. Like how impactful would that be to be able to share your work on Adobe Express with someone living in Florida, right? Just in case you have friends in Florida and you live in Ohio, right? It'd be cool to be able to share our work.
So how about this as a workaround? You use the regular classroom that you have for each of your classes, but when you're going to do a gallery, you have a shared classroom. Then you push it out through the link, and whether you do that with a classroom management system or you drop it into your LMS, you have a way for students to get to that. Or actually, they just join it. You wouldn't even need to. If you created one master class.
Because they're automatically enrolled with that link. When I logged in as my daughter, it automatically took me to the join code for that class, enrolled me in the class, and then, I mean, it auto did all of this, but then it dropped me into the gallery. So with that link, you're automatically enrolled in the course. So you could do that. You could do one master math course, and that would just be where.
And just that's where galleries is. Everything else they do in their own classroom. But they could actually, you just use a join code at the very beginning to join that second grade math group, but you wouldn't put assignments in there. You'd only have galleries there.
I like that workaround. So let me say this back to make sure that I understand, because I love it. To just have like almost like a second grade gallery classroom, put all of my students in that classroom with their join code, but that isn't where they go to get any of their assignments I may be giving them to Adobe Express. It only exists to see different galleries that I would set up. I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
It's a good way to start.
Because they can add any of their work from their stuff, no matter what classroom they're in.
That's right.
They still have access to their stuff. I like it. I like that.
And whether they've downloaded it or they're getting it out of their My Stuff, they'd still be able to get to it.
So if you had the second grade class and then an open gallery for everyone, and then you shared out this link, it would auto enroll them in this class. You wouldn't even have to add them.
I see that you have an open gallery, but in my mind, I want to have this like the name of the classroom be math gallery. And then I have a gallery that's addition strategies. And then my next gallery may be multiplication strategies. That way they know where to, you know what I mean? They know where to go. Like this
I
is
love
where
that.
that. It also would be really, really cool. So I had a friend way back in the day, because you know, I was born in the 1900s. And I loved the show Pimp My Ride. It's just, I loved that show. I loved the
Yes.
artistry of it. And there was a teacher at my school who didn't like doing bulletin boards. So he had this Pimp My Board, because he had like 4 bulletin boards in his room. And the kids would actually decorate the board, every single unit. And so this would be a really good digital way to do that, to say this is unit 1, and then students be able to add their evidence to that gallery for unit 1, and then just to keep going what they thought was important information to retain for that unit in a very creative way. I would love to be able to do something like that, even with galleries.
So many
That would be good.
possibilities.
You know what I do love about this? Because, you know, we use our LMS for assignments a lot when they're being taken for a grade. So we use the external tool assignment with Adobe Express as opposed to classrooms for that purpose. So but then the kids don't get the gallery, which I love the gallery. This kind of helps both ends. I can still have it as an external tool assignment in Canvas where all of my grading takes place, but they still have the opportunity to show their work to their peers in galleries. So I like that.
Idea. It's such a cool idea. Look at us. Look at us expanding outside of what's been created, making it work for us.
I love it. I love it. And that's why I love to have times like this where we can collaborate each other and kind of borrow from each other's genius about how would you use it or how would you use it. And we're a Canvas district too. So I love that idea of being able to help the kids understand this is where we can see each other's work, and where it's more of a formative assessment versus once you turn in that final piece on Canvas, that's more of a summative assessment opportunity. And I love that they're kind of on 2 different platforms as well.
Absolutely.
Any other use cases?
That's why I really feel like we need to push this comments section, because how great would it be to be, hey, this is your work in progress space, provide feedback, and then we'll collect it for a grade in Canvas. That's when you'll turn it into your LMS, right?
Now, I do wonder, speaking of the comment section, I do wonder what link is attached to this gallery. So if I'm working on something and I put it in the gallery, when you have something on Adobe Express that you share the link with and you change it, you have to update that link, right? So is it going to show those changes automatically? Am I going to have to update the link? Like, I do wonder how it's pulling it if we're using galleries as kind of a process formative kind of step. The kids would almost have to wait until like this is their final project and then put it on there. And I'm just wondering, like, what would happen if I edited that?
Let's see.
I hope Martha sees this and she's like, why is my name randomly in that video?
All right, so we are all locked and loaded, updated. Let's refresh this window. Does it stay? Does it stay or does it go?
Now click into. Oh, it does.
So it is it's a live link. It's alive.
It's alive.
It's alive.
That is cool. Okay. So with this being a live link, I think that the commenting feature is even more important, even for the kids to be able to say, hey, remember you were supposed to show 2 strategies, right? And so like if a kid has missed a piece, it really helps them to be able to give feedback before they turn something in summative. Even as a teacher, being able to see that before they turn in something summative. That's awesome.
Yeah,
it is.
Edits in real time. Like that is beyond awesome. That may even update that quicker than Classrooms.
it might. I think it might.
Oh, You think they're ready for our list of wants and hopes and dreams?
Hey, hey, hopefully they see this video. That's why we're doing it. That's why we're showing the things that we love, how impactful, some product updates that we would suggest, if we can influence the roadmap at all. That's what we're here for.
Call us. We'll talk to you all day.
We will give up our opinions all day. That's what we're here.
But just thinking about even our technology teachers who see every student in the school, and just the possibility of them using this as a way of showing multiple classes work in one place, having the all the second grades, all the fifth grades load their artifact, and then they can see each other's. I think that's such a cool feature, especially when they can live update and it will show those updates ready for them to go.
Even if you have one student that it was just like Melissa's gallery, it's still very impactful. For example, we have high schools that have capstone projects where they're having to show different artifacts to provide for their capstone. This would be a really good way for them to show that, even if it's just their personal gallery, in addition to like creating like a portfolio, right? If they didn't want to create a web page setting, this would be something else that they'd be able to use. Really good for our group work as well. And anyone that signs into it within your district can see it. So I also want my administrators to be able to see what my students are producing. I want for the coaches and trainers like you guys and myself that are working with me to see what my students are producing. I want their parents to see too, but currently they can't sign in because they don't have a district email. Hopefully that's a product change on down the line, but everyone can kind of see a beautiful collection of evidence on any topic with galleries, which I absolutely love.
Well, this is fun. I am really excited about this changing live edit. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but you can see all of the different pages in here once you click into it too. So I think it's not just the one thing. If I had multiple pages,
this would be like a gallery of galleries, right?
Yep.
I mean, can you think of like student-led conferences, like anything where the kids can like go right? Well, I don't know if you'd want to use it for conferences because that would have like one student be able to see another student's information. I don't know about that, but any project that you're doing, like if they're creating a book or creating a video series, they would be able to see, hey, this is how Melissa organized her work. This is her, explanation of, there's so many possibilities.
Think about just iterations. If the student has their first copy and then they make a copy of that and they make some modifications and then they continue to modify, and you can actually see the progression from where they started to what their finished product was.
Can I say though, I have to say that I really do like when you use the generative AI, the prompt that was used to get the image shows up here, because I found that is one of the most collaborative conversations that sparks out of every Adobe lesson that I've had the opportunity to teach. The kids start, hey, how did you get this to look that way? Or what words did you use? Or what descriptive language because we're always like, use your descriptive language, because they want to just Google it and have the image of the character pop up or whatever. And they really have to use their words. And I like that the words are there, because then you can be like, oh, I like how she has a magical box. What verbiage did she use? It sparks that creativity in another student.
I like that too, especially since I'm always asking that. Like even on social media, it'll be, man, what prompt did you use? Because I'm always learning how to prompt better, how to get, what words I should use, because I'm a math nerd. Language is always my best strength. So I'm glad you pointed that out. I didn't even really notice that or think about that. You said something.
Yeah. So if Shel ends up watching this, I know this is not proper prompt structure. This was just for fun. Okay. So not a great prompt.
But now we can make a gallery of Shel prompts.
Yes, exactly.
Best prompter.
See, but what a cool way if you're teaching prompts, if you're teaching prompt writing, because they can generate in here, and before they actually start their independent assignments, you can actually do a gallery, have the students write their prompts, really work on their prompts, and then bring with the same, trying to get something very similar and see what the differences were in their prompts. It'd be such a great learning activity. Yeah, look it up, Joe.
This is going to be a back to school training right here. Prompt writing in gallery.
It's already part of our IR training. I've already put it on our list.
Do I want to make it a positive and like, how can we build on that? Or do I want us to tear each other to shreds? I don't know.
But the beautiful thing is that you can then take Lindy's idea of creating a gallery classroom for your teachers, right? And then you have this gallery that is about prompting, and this gallery that is about, you know, templates for math classrooms, and this gallery is like my favorite templates for, you know, this classroom. So it really is going to do a lot in organizing the things that we're wanting to get to our students and teachers in our roles, because our teachers are our students.
Yeah. I mean, that is ingenious to get together with the ELA department and make a classroom, and very similar to what you were saying with the math strategies, have a different gallery for each standard with everybody's favorite templates, and whoever can add their template from their stuff like that. Now we have a repository of lessons that we can do with our kids. And I know that you can search templates by topic, but I have a few templates that I love for literally everything. The glow up template I use for everything: social studies, science, ELA. It's supposed to be character analysis, but I have used it for almost every subject. Give me time, I'll think of a PE example.
There are just certain structures that you just always use, right? So like I could create a template, even if I search for it, that is for my math warm-up. And I know that there's always certain things I ask kids in that math warm-up. What do they call it? It's almost like anchor posters, but digitally, right? So like these are always the strategies that I want you to remember. These are your options that I want you to remember. This is the structure of how I want your paper. Even if it's something as small as when you get a sheet of blank paper, like your name goes up here on the top, like make sure the holes are on the left side. I mean, little things that we have to teach kids, right? To be able to have those things digitally laid out in a way that's more organized. Okay, so playing around a little bit with the generate image feature, I asked Amber if I could edit the image like I can in Adobe Express. If I want to edit parts of it, I can go back into the prompt. It doesn't look like we can do that if they generate it in galleries though.
Nope, it's just here. It does not end up in my stuff.
Yeah, so keep that in mind. If you're having students generate an image inside of galleries, not if they're taking a generated image out of their stuff, but if they create it in galleries, it doesn't dump it back into their stuff, which means they almost kind of lose it. Like, you know, Amber, you made a comment of, what if I made something really cool? Like, how do I keep it? Is there a workaround?
I can right click and save image.
Okay, so I can download that image. Just kind of keep that in. If you're watching, just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. I can get that image and I can download it and put it, you know, back into Adobe Express if I'd like. If you do that though, it's just an image that you can't change the prompt or alter in any way, or, you know, or tweak in any way. So just kind of keep that in mind. I depend on that a lot when I'm generating images. I'll find something really cool and then I'll copy it and I'll say, well, how would this look if there was a computer in that magic box? Or how would this look if one of the women was a Black woman with braids? So I'm always tweaking my prompts. Keep that in mind, that it is limited if they generate the image inside of galleries.
Yeah, because that would be a hard one. Sometimes I generate some really cool images and it is forever mine. I need it. It'd be hard to let some of them go in here.
Sometimes it is like the one. And I actually love, we should do another video on this. I love the generate similar function now, because I do get that image that I just love. And I want it to be like the emoji. I want that exact same girl brushing her teeth, and then that exact same girl brushing her hair. And I can't get that with image generation sometimes. With generate similar does really help. I love it.
And it's really helping the schools. Huge shout out to whoever's idea that was, because teachers and school administrators would get so frustrated because they'd find a mascot and they'd love it, but then they'd want that same alligator, Florida, to be in a different situation for the next social media post, and they would never get the same alligator again. So that generate similar is very helpful for situations like that. Again, once you find that character or whatever that you want to keep reusing, but change the background or whatever.
I'm gonna make sure that I let our athletic director know that, because we have a couple of high schools that generate images for their sports posts, and it's hysterical because they'll say like the Aiken Falcons are playing the Withrow Tigers, and they'll actually generate this like huge falcon just dominating over this tiger. So if they have an image that they like of that falcon, that would be really good for them to be able to keep that similar. Yeah, they do some. Shout out to Aiken High School's athletic team. They do some awesome and amazing AI generated sports posts that are just phenomenal and extremely entertaining. Like they had a game that was canceled, and they had the two mascots like crying because they couldn't, it was like a snow day and they couldn't play because it was a snow day. They do some amazing work, and it's super cool and super engaging.
That is an untapped group, Lindy, that we have not trained on Adobe Express yet. Athletic directors, here we come.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for coming and unboxing Adobe Express Galleries. I'm so excited to see it, see how it works, see how we can work with our coworkers within our district, see it from a student lens, see it from a teacher lens. I'm really excited.
And you know it's only going to get better. Like, this is the first iteration. So we know our friends at Adobe are not going to leave it here. They're going to add some more magic to it like they do with everything else. So this is exciting.
They're going to take our thoughts and what we brainstormed to make the next iteration too. I cannot wait.
I absolutely know they will.
Well, thank you everyone for coming and unboxing Adobe Express Galleries with us. And we look forward to learning more with you again next time.